Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back with me, with Diana Ayu Latifah. And here we are going to learn about general properties of wave. But before we are going to know what is the properties of wave, I will explain about the wave itself. Here, so what is wave? Wave here is a disturbance in a medium that propagates through the medium of its own volitions. You can see in the screen. So, what is the medium? Medium is like a tools or a media that will propagate the vibration or the motion of the wave itself. Actually, medium could be solid, gas, or liquid. Okay, after this, there are basic type of wave. Here, there are two basic type of wave. Actually, this basic type of wave is explained about how the wave could be occur. For the first basic type is a pulse. Here, pulse is a single disturbance and only assault the medium once, and it's characterized by an amplitude. I have an example. It's look like when you have a stick and a drum, and you try to hit the drum with a stick once, and it will resulting or producing a pulse. A pulse here will be like this in the screen. In the screen, a pulse will have an amplitude. This amplitude is the characteristic of the pulse itself. Okay, and I will explain about the amplitude, the velocity, and something like that after this. The second is there is a periodic. Periodic here is many identical pulses that is repeatedly assaults the medium and resulting a wave. So actually, periodic means that there is a disturbance that come periodically into the medium, and then it will produce the wave. So when the pulses is when there is a when there's something that producing some or a lot of pulses, it will resulting a wave. Okay, actually there is a picture here that this maybe help me to explain about uh, how the wave is occur. It looks like the example is like that, like when there is a water drop to the water container, and it will resulting a wave. Okay, so that's all for the explanation of the wave and how the wave could occur. And then next we are going to the properties of wave. For the first properties here, there is an amplitude. Amplitude here is a maximum displacement from the equilibrium of the disturbed medium. Equilibrium of the disturbed medium means of the rest position of the medium. Yeah, this is the rest position of the medium, where the medium is stand on. And when there is a disturbance, the medium will have a motion and become like this. This is a displacement of the medium, and the distance between the displacement or maximum displacement of the medium and of the equilibrium, or where the rest position of the medium, it is called like it is called an amplitude. So the amplitude is the maximum displacement from the rest position of the medium. And actually, amplitude has a number. The number usually you could find out the number in the questions. It's like this. So there is if you have seen it in the beach, there is a wall that is um, attached by the number like meter. It is like a depth of the water, and it could be explained, or it could be a tool that shows the height of the wave itself. So that's all for the amplitude. And then the next, or the second properties of wave, is there is a frequency. The frequency here is a number of waves passing a point in a certain amount of time. And then the period. Period here is the time it takes to complete one cycle. Before I will explain about the period, I will explain more about the frequency. The frequency here is a number of waves that passing a point in a certain amount of time. In a certain amount of time. So how many waves that is travel in a certain amount of time is called frequency. And then the period. Period is the time takes to complete in one cycle. It complete one cycle. One cycle here means the start of the motions of the medium, or the displacement here, until it going back to the rest position of the medium. Actually, it is called as one cycle. Yeah, but period not about the distance, but about the time that it takes to complete in one cycle, that called as period. Actually, frequency and period has a relation here is because the number of waves in a certain amount of time. So the formula of the frequency will be 1. 1 here means the number of the waves, and then over the t here means period, or the time, or a certain time that takes to resulting the number of waves, or waves. And then the formula of the period will be 1 over frequency. 1 over frequency here means 1 means in 1 seconds there will resulting or producing how many waves, or how many waves. So it could be a period. Okay. Next, there is a wavelength. Wavelength here is actually a physical size of one whole sound, the distance between two consecutive peaks or true. It represented by the Greek letter called lambda. So wavelength here is lambda. Lambda is wavelength. Okay. Actually, wavelength is the distance between two consecutive peaks or true. Peaks mean here is a crest. So actually, wave will resulting a crest and then a true. True here. And wavelength is a distance between the crest until the second crest, or the other crest here. This is called wavelength. But because the half of this wavelength, the half of this crest, and the half of the other crest here, it has same number, so it could be the half plus the half, it could be 1, right? So wavelength could be explained like one consists of one crest and one true. So one cross and one true means wavelength. So wavelength is could be explained like this. So from this until this, it could be wavelength. One wavelength or one lambda. Okay. Next to the wave speed. Wave speed is a motion depends on properties of medium. A distance of wave travels in given amount of time. So wave speed here is the distance of wave travels in a given amount of time. So the wave speed here is like a velocity, and the formula will be like this: v or velocity equal to distance here as lambda, and then period here is time, or the time that takes the complete one cycle of wave. And then because the period, it has a relation with the frequency, and we already know that period equal to 1 over f, so it will resulting the formula of the velocity like v equal to lambda times frequency here. Okay, so that's all for the properties that actually explain or mention. Next, we are going to the next session, which is exercise. Yeah, actually, I have some questions here. The first question, or in the first exercise, the question is, the graph below represents the displacements against positions of a water wave at a particular time. Find the amplitude. First is find the amplitude, and then the second is find the wavelength or the lambda. So, as I already mentioned and explained, that amplitude is a maximum displacement of a medium from its rest position. So here is the rest position of the medium, and then here is the displacement or the maximum displacement, right? And how is the number of the how is the distance between the displacements here and the rest position here is 10. Yeah, it already mentioned in the picture that, so 10, it could be an amplitude. It is easy, right? Sorry, I think I'm nervous. Yeah, actually it is easy to find out the amplitude. And then, okay, for the next question is the wavelength. Wavelength here, as I already explained also before, the wavelength is the distance between one crust to the other crust here. But it could be also from this crust consists of one crust and one through here. So from the picture, we could know that the wavelength or the lambda is equal to 4. So lambda is equal to 4. With the units is meter, but actually here there is a unit is millimeter, right? Yeah, this is the first question or the first exercise. So we jump to the next exercise. Here is, yeah, the second exercise. The second exercise with the question is, the graph below represent the same water wave as in the first graph. Find the amplitude. So please find the amplitude, and then the second, please find the time or the period, and then the third is please find the frequency. Okay, from the last questions, we already know that the amplitude is here, like, right? The displacement, the distance between this maximum displacement and the rest position of medium. So 10 here as an amplitude, right? Of course. So the next or the second questions, please find out the period. Okay, period is actually the time that it takes to complete in one cycle. Actually, one cycle is start from the start of displacement until it going back to the rest position of the medium. So this 0.5 as an information to know about the period. So 0.5 here as an period. Okay, easy, right? So we are going to the next question, which is the frequency. The frequency here, okay. Before and when I explain about the frequency and the period, I already explained that period and frequency it has a relations. Here, the relation of the frequency and the period is when the t equal to 1 over frequency. So the frequency will be 1 over t, right? So because the frequency will be 1 over t, the calculations will be frequency equal to 1. The period it has been found out, right? Which is 0.5. Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay. I try to make it clear. Okay. 0.5. So from the calculation here, it's 1 over 0.5 will become 2, right? So, and the unit is hertz. So, from these questions, an amplitude is 10, the period is 0.5, and the frequency is 2 hertz. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's all for the exercise because I only provide 2 questions or 2 example questions for this explanation or for this content. But I already provide also this. I already provide the barcode that consists of 10 questions of general properties of wave. Actually, you can exercise or practice more the question to practice more to answer the questions from this barcode. You can scan or you can access the link here. So thank you for your attention. Sorry for any mistakes and sorry for maybe there is an unclearly explanations or unclearly maybe there is an unclearly explanations on unclearly voices. Thank you for your attentions. Hope you stay at home because it is dangerous to going around, but also may you have a good life and also stay healthy and stay safe. Thank you everyone. See you in another opportunity or another change. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.